Did you happen to catch these Red Sox moves over the last couple of weeks? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. The Red Sox, actually, over the last couple of weeks have been pretty busy. Not with winning, not with making big moves, but with actually a series of pretty small moves here that could eventually have an impact on the 2025 Sox. So I did want to take the time out of our week and kind of go over those so you guys are fully informed with what is going on. So we got a trade, we got a signing, and we got a promotion that we're going to talk about. We're actually going to start with the signing here the Boston Red Sox made because, I don't know, about a week or so ago, the Red Sox signed reliever Jorge Juan, who was originally from the Oakland Athletics organization, spent some time in the Braves organization before he came over to the Boston Red Sox. Now, this isn't a major league deal or anyone who's really close to the major league level, so I didn't want to make a full video about it, but I didn't want to keep you guys updated because, honestly, this is a really intriguing signing by the Sox. For starters, this dude's 6'8", 250. That is a big body presence on the mound, right? That is an intimidating presence on the mound. And whenever you got a guy like that in the organization, especially on the mound, very, very interesting player on being really tall and sort of a menacing presence here. He also throws up to 100 miles an hour on his fastball. To me, that's a pretty intriguing combination, right? A guy who's big with a lot of extension and some really quick arms. Yeah, that to me is always going to at least pique my interest. Now, over the course of his career, he's generated a pretty decent amount of swing and miss, mostly again with the A's, but some with the Braves as well. He had a 11.7 K per nine over the course of 7 seasons. The reason he hasn't really made his way up super well in organizations, at least in my opinion, right? There may be some other stuff going on here, but sort of the glaring thing when you take a look at just statistics alone, it's his walk rate. He has a really tough time with his command. There's a lot of hits Batman in there. There's a lot of wild pitches in there. And overall, his walks per 9 is at a 6.5 per 9 innings over those 7 seasons. Just for reference here, that's about what Richard Fitz's strikeout rate is at right now at the big league level, right? That's obviously a very high number. It's very similar actually to Luis Guerrero, who has struggled with command as well in the past year for the Boston Red Sox. Now, again, right now this is sort of a nothing burger, right? Right now this is sort of a non-story type signing, but I'm very intrigued by Jorge a little bit. I'm very intrigued to see what the Red Sox can do with him. While the Red Sox pitching lab hasn't exactly been performing super well at the major league level, right? There have been some questions as to how the Red Sox are preparing their current MLB pitchers for baseball games. It's actually been working really well in the minor league system. Guys like Conley Early, Peyton Tolley, Brandon Clark, they're all benefiting from a really interesting Red Sox pitching strategy down in minor league baseball. And you're seeing a whole lot of really improved performances from a lot of guys in the minor league system. So I am really curious to see what they could do with Jorge, right? If they could figure out a way to bring his command into the zone, so at least he kind of figures out how to get it into the zone, right? Maybe it's never going to be pinpoints, but at least bring that walk rate down a bit. He could be a really fun prospect to take a look at, right? He's still only 26 years old, so there's still some time for him to figure some stuff out. Got up to the AA level in the Braves organization, but that's the highest he's been to. At the end of the day, in my opinion, this is just a no-risk signing, right? You're not going to need to put this guy on your major league team. You're not going to waste a whole lot of money if he can't make his way up here, right? But if he does, it'll be a really fantastic story and a really fantastic find for this Red Sox team. So nothing to get super upset about, nothing to get super hyped about. Just something I want you guys to keep on your radar. And to be totally honest with you, now that I'm looking at this list, I think it's almost exclusively stuff done from the Red Sox on the pitching side of things in their organization, because the second thing we're talking about is a trade the Red Sox made recently. Now, this is a trade I actually think most of you guys have already kind of heard or had a conversation about with somebody, and that is that the Red Sox traded reliever Sean Newcomb over to the Oakland Athletics for cash consideration. So they didn't really get anything back, but basically the Oakland As took over Sean Newcomb's contract at the end of the day, gave the Red Sox some cash to bring him in. I think a lot of people had mixed opinions on this one. One, it sucks to see the hometown guy get a chance with his hometown club, not cut it, and then end up on another team back in Oakland where he actually came from before, right? It kind of sucks to see that happen. but I actually didn't hate Sean Newcomb on the Boston Red Sox. He was pretty good, right? He had a 3.95 ERA in Boston with a 3.42 FIP and a 1.05 ERA plus. Not terrible at all. I think I am going to miss him a little bit on this team, but I'll tell you what, I'm not incredibly upset with the fact that the Red Sox traded this guy. One, he was an absolute heart attack on the mound, right? He would get the job done for sure with this Red Sox team, but it was like, oh please, oh please, oh please, every time he was out there. Ended up taking over that sort of human victory cigar role for the Red Sox, but I'll tell you exactly why I'm not really upset with the Red Sox doing this. One is because the Red Sox did end up DFAing Sean Newcomb, which means regardless of whether or not they traded him, he would have gone through waiver wires. And with the season he's been having so far, I don't think there was really a chance that he was going to come back to the Red Sox. So he probably, in reality, would have ended up losing this guy anyways. This time they got something from him. If he'd gone through the waiver wires, it would have been for absolute nothing, right? So I like the fact that the Red Sox were able to get something. Yeah, it was just cash. Yeah, it's probably not going to do anything to the Red Sox. No, it's not some prospect that we can, keep in the back of our heads as the season goes on. But at least it's something, right? At least at the end of the day, they got something from him. And the second reason I think I'm not crazy upset by this move from the Red Sox is because they actually kind of have higher caliber players getting closer or on this major league club that could take over Sean Newcomb's role. And we're already seeing it on this big league team because once Sean Newcomb got traded, Richard Fitts came back and Hunter Dobbins moved into the bullpen, right? And in my opinion, Hunter Dobbins in that sort of long relief / starter hybrid role for the Red Sox actually has a much higher ceiling than Sean Newcomb did. He's a guy that you're developing for the future of this club too, so it's another guy that you want to stick around for a little bit as well. I would honestly kind of prefer Dobbins in the rotation compared to some of the other possibilities right now, but that's a conversation for a different video, and I'd rather have Hunter Dobbins on this team than I would Sean Newcomb. And on top of that, if you're sitting there saying, well, what about lefties, right? You need another lefty option. If you need a long relief lefty, where are you going to go? Well, on top of Hunter Dobbins taking over sort of a long relief starter hybrid role here, they also put Zach Penrod on a rehab assignment. Remember that guy? Yeah, that guy's still in this organization. He helped out the team last year. He's been injured for a pretty decent chunk of this season. He finally is healthy enough to rejoin the Worcester Red Sox to start to get himself back into games a bit. Now, for right now, he's reassigned to the Worcester Red Sox, but like we talked about in yesterday's video with the addition of Nick Birdie, this Red Sox bullpen's pretty malleable right now. If they want to, they could bring Zach Penrod up at some point. And then you go back to that, my main point here, right? Zach Penrod, in my opinion, currently has a higher ceiling talent-wise than Sean Newcomb did. So again, I just can't bring myself to be upset by this move by the Boston Red Sox. When it did initially happen, I saw that some people were upset. In my opinion, it just feels like you're being mad to be mad, which is, let's be honest here, totally fair with where the Red Sox are at. But this specific move in a vacuum with everything else that went on in this move and with everything else going on with the Red Sox in terms of their pitching, I don't hate this at all, and I really can't get upset about it. And the last sort of underrated, maybe not so publicized thing I wanted to go over here that happened for the Red Sox recently actually happened in the last 24 to 48 hours, depending on when this video ends up coming out. And that is that the Red Sox promoted hometown guy, Shay Sprague from Hanover, Mass, up to high A baseball. He was currently in low A baseball. This is his very first season in minor league baseball. He was drafted last year in the 13th round of the 2024 draft. This is a guy I'm really interested in. Now, I didn't want to make a full video about him just simply because it's just a transition from low A to high A, right? A lot of people don't really care or want to pay attention to prospects until they get into double A, and we could really start to see, okay, how far away is this guy from Major League Baseball? But I did want to include him in this video because I do think this is a guy that you're going to start to want to pay attention to as he continues to develop in minor league baseball, because after his first two starts, which did not go very well in professional baseball. His first start was only 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 6 runs, 5 of them earned. The next start wasn't much better, where he went 3 innings, allowed 6 runs, 4 of them earned. After that, though, in his last few games in low A baseball, he kind of flat out dominated. I mean, in 24 2/3 innings, Over the course of 6-ish games, he ended up with a 146 ERA. He struck out 28 batters, walked only 6, allowed 17 hits, only 4 earned runs in that entire time span. And one thing that really intrigues me about Shea's game is that even despite the bad starts that he had to begin his professional career here, he still maintained the ability to keep the ball in the yard. He has not allowed a single home run in his professional appearances so far, and I think that's incredibly impressive. Even more so impressive that he did it in poor starts as well. So I don't know. This is kind of, in my opinion, a name to at least pay attention to. These college starters, these college pitchers, they end up developing a little bit faster than a lot of other guys drafted in minor league baseball just because they've had so much experience and time to grow in college. He was drafted out of college. I don't think I would prepare myself or expect him to end up popping up on top, 10, 15 Red Sox prospect list over the course of this year. But again, this is a guy, maybe a year or two down the road when you're talking about, okay, what's next for this Red Sox team? Who are they developing? Shea could start to pop up in some of those conversations. I don't know whether it will be as a starter, as a reliever. I don't really know what role's best for him. He's kind of doing a little bit of both right now in high A/low A baseball. A lot of his outings are out of the bullpen, but they're also, there's a couple outings in here. I'll put the statistics on the screen again, where it's like 5 2/3 innings, but he didn't start that game. Or 5 1/3 innings, and he didn't start that game, right? So they're kind of using him in a mix of a both role right now. I would imagine it's just sort of figure out whether he's best suited as a starter or a reliever. Again, kind of a cool story though, right? The hometown guy went to Hanover, Mass, went to BC High School, got drafted by his hometown team. Now he's making waves in it. I really love those stories, so I thought it was worth mentioning on this video, but again, it's not something to get unbelievably excited about, right? It's not a name to pencil in as, hey, this is the guy that's going to be your top pitching prospect. Just someone I wanted you guys to be aware of and sort of understand who he is if he does start making more waves, because according to his statistics right now, he absolutely has the capability of doing that. And that's sort of what the theme of this video was, right? They're not all guys who are going to turn heads. They're not all guys who are going to be number one prospects in baseball. These are sort of underrated names, but these are the smaller names throughout a season or throughout a couple of years that could end up playing big roles in the Red Sox organization, right? Especially if you're talking about potential bullpen arms. So let me know what your opinions are. What do you think about these things? What do you think about the signing? What do you think about the trade? And what do you think about the promotion? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.